Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what Lez is about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Welcome back to Lez Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Leigh Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. This season, we are still releasing our Patreon bonus episodes. Our last episode was on The Kids Are All Right, and our next one will be on The Fallout, starring Jenna Ortega mounting Maddie Ziegler. So if you want to see that, it's like really not what the movie's about, but if you want to listen to those episodes, you can find them at bit.ly/lespatreon.
That is such a misleading way.
I know, it's really misleading. It's really misleading. If anyone's seen the movie, you know that that's so misleading.
Also, we want to remind everyone that Journey to the Heart, the finale, comes out on today, my birthday. So if you want to give me a birthday present, what you can do is listen to our musical if you haven't yet. And if you've been waiting to binge the whole thing, now is your chance. Now is the time. Do it now. The episodes are all out, at least for this path, for this way through the story. Just saying.
Listen wherever you listen to your podcast. In the greater Les universe, how, like, you know, when we were having our JoJo Siwa season, like, I don't know, I feel like there's just like seasons of queer people who just like they're having their time. And we're happy for them, right? And it is Renee Rapp's queer season. We all know this. So Renee Rapp and Toa Bird did a hard. I'm from Boston, everyone. Renee.
That's like the most Boston thing you've ever
that's
said.
ever come out of my mouth. Renee Rapp and Toa Bird did their hard launch. Oh my gosh, my mom will be so proud of me. Hard launch of their relationship at the Oscars. And Renee Rapp having no media training. Like, I watched some of these videos. I'm like, this woman just kills me when she's just like, hey, come over here. We're together. Show them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here's my girlfriend. There she is.
Yeah.
Like, there they are. So, yeah, we have another hot queer couple to root for.
Amazing. Speaking of the Oscars, we also had, I think, not a whole lot of queer winners either in like award, like individuals or films, but we should call out Billie Eilish becoming the youngest person to ever win a second Academy Award. So, you know, representing for the queers, for anyone who still hasn't realized that Billie Eilish is queer, despite being like somewhat pretty outed as well. So, you know, hey,
yeah,
shout out to you, Billie Eilish.
Especially after the year that she has had, having people hate on her for being queer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
also in dramatique gay news, in Queer Eye news, Jonathan Van Ness has been rumored to be a nightmare to work with, which makes us really sad. Well, makes me sad because they seem like such a bright light, and like I've had such a positive experience with them on Queer Eye, and it just shows like don't have your idols stick around too long. You know?
I also feel like, because I know you described this as like Ellen rumors, and I feel like Ellen was the same thing. Where it's like, I feel like sometimes it is hard now for me to buy people who make their whole thing about being like
so authentic and full of love and support for everyone else. And then you hear, oh, they actually would have a temper tantrum every day and like would like verbally abuse production assistants and whatever, you know? And it's like,
not great.
Come on, like, this is why we can't have nice things, people, you know?
Not great.
So it just makes me depressed. Also, there's all kinds of Queer Eye drama. Bobby left the show, is going to be replaced by Jeremiah Brent. I'm so conflicted on this Like, Queer Eye is still making episodes. Therefore, we have a queer show that is continuing to make shit, right? But the longer we make it, it's like it's like a RuPaul kind of situation to me too, right? Where it's like it was maybe good for the community, and then it sort of spirals and turns into like the straights love it, and then they ruin it, and then now it's just like, okay, can't watch it anymore. It's not for us anymore, you know?
Indeed. Look, this next item I want to talk about, Ellie, I love this for a couple of reasons. One, because I know you operate the same way I do when we try to find news to talk about. This is not breaking news. This is not current at all. This is literally from almost a year ago. But you know how sometimes we get these like old things that like cycle back around in our Google
like our
search
Google alert
things.
You know,
our
we got
Google
an alert for
alerts.
lesbian, bisexual, queer, like every thing under the sun we've got an alert for.
So this is one that somehow I just got now. I don't know why Google Alert was like, you need to know about this May 2023 news item.
Apparently
but I hadn't seen it. I haven't seen anyone talking about it. We haven't talked about it. And it's delightful to me as a millennial who deeply loves memes. Okay. So there is, you know this meme. Everyone knows this meme. There's a meme. It's a woman. She's got this confused face and the eyes and the math equations over
the
her
best
face,
one.
right? Yes, everyone knows the confused math lady meme. So confused math lady meme is a photo of a Brazilian actress whose name is Renata Sora, who is bisexual and came out in like the cutest way possible at age 76, which is like, we love this for you. Which is that she was attending a performance, I think like a show, like a theater performance, maybe. Not sure what. She was attending a performance. An actor asked the audience to raise their hand if they're bisexual, and she raised her little hand. And I'm sorry, but I think that's the cutest thing ever.
It's very cute.
And I just love that every time I see a little confused math lady now, I'm gonna know that she's a bisexual icon. And Bicon, we love that. So that's just, listen, breaking news from 2023, everyone. Just wanted you to be aware, okay?
Amazing. I'm glad we know now.
Yeah. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Leigh.
Thanks, Ellie and Leigh, and welcome to our 122nd installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, we're just here to have fun and learn. Can't stop the Lez.
Can't stop the Lez. I love that. That just really got me. Usually, also, you do a song at the beginning, Leigh. This is the first one you haven't done a song.
I know, but I didn't
I'm so
know.
surprised.
Listen, the soundtrack for this movie was a little intimidating for me to pick one song to do. So
No,
I just went with
My Own Worst
I
Enemy.
should have worn a bow tie.
Yeah. You would be a great quiz show host. I see it for you.
I wanted the wall of bow ties, honestly, is it. That's it.
We're also very excited today because we are joined by Sam and Aussie, also known as the Keep It Saussie duo, who began developing their brand back in 2020 with a motto of empower, motivate, inspire, and uplift. Together, they aim to uplift their communities and seek to be the role models they wish they had growing up as LGBTQIA+ and trans identifying. After appearing in the Ultimatum Queer Love, they continue to live authentically to empower others to do the same. Sam and Aussie, welcome.
Woohoo!
Yay! We are so excited to have you here.
Oh, we are the same. Yeah, excited to be here.
It's going to be quite a fun one, and it was your choice to do Quiz Lady, so we're going to dive into that. But before we dive into Quiz Lady, obviously, the Ultimatum Queer Love took the gay internet by storm, and you were both part of that. So can you just, how long has it been since you were actually on the Ultimatum?
Oh my gosh, was it 2021?
Oh
Yeah.
my
And we're
God.
now in 2024.
So it's been 3 years since you were on it, right?
Yeah, like end of 2021. And then now, obviously, we're in the beginning. Has it been 2 years almost? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It
Oh,
was the end
wow.
of 2021. So it's been 3 years, almost like two and a half years.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it was a while ago.
And you had those 3 years of like life in anonymity, and how is it different now?
Kinda, in some ways, we kind of like keep our heads down sometimes or like hide behind our masks, and occasionally people still recognize us and they're like, "Are you Sam and Aussie?" And we're like, "Yes, maybe."
Maybe. Who's asking?
What's like
never
the
heard of him. Never heard of him.
What's like the strangest place you've been recognized?
Probably yours.
Yeah. at an Airbnb.
Oh my God. Like the Airbnb host recognized you?
Well, it was actually, we had an issue with the bathroom. And so a plumber came out and then he's like, did I meet you somewhere? And then I'm like, well, I was at the airport the other day. And then it was just like, it was questions after, and then it was eventually, no, you were on that show. And then I was
oh my God.
This is funny for two reasons. One, just the story and like context, and two, that it was a dude being like, I know you.
And it was a cis het dude.
Of all the people you think you'd be safe from, right?
Yes.
Like,
no, to be fair,
wild.
like my very straight brother, and to be fair, I guess to be fair, I told my very straight brother to watch the show, but like he watched the entire show with his girlfriend. So, you know, they're watching it.
They are.
And we're bringing queer representation to the masses.
Yeah. And I
That's
did
so
ask a
funny.
question. Which was your favorite season? Season 1? You know, with the heterosexual couples, or was it season 2? And he said, actually, it was season 2. So it's you know, reaching out there, and I think that says something about the season and you know, the topics that we covered and everything like that. So I think it does great for the queer community. He was the loveliest guy. So yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it just tells us even straight people are sick of heterosexual drama. Like they're over it too. Like we're all over it.
I
No
used
one
to
needs
love
this.
watching reality shows, but like after that, I stopped.
Yeah,
I like
that
couldn't
sounds
do
right.
it anymore.
Or you just see it in a completely different lens. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I just stopped. Like I literally had no desire to watch like the typical reality shows anymore.
You mean
Like,
after season 1? Or?
no, like after the queer version.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can't watch any non-queer like reality shows now.
Yes. Did you ever see one of my favorite queer reality TV shows was Are You the One? Did you watch that?
I haven't seen it yet, the episodes, but I've heard of them.
Yeah. That was probably my favorite because it was early on in the queer like reality TV sphere where I feel like it was like not really being done. And to be fair, it's still not being done enough. But it was like super early, and the whole thing was that you put a bunch of like bisexual people together on Are You the One? And then they could be with literally anyone in the house. Like it was crazy.
It's chaos.
That sounds like mayhem.
Sounds like
Yes.
It's chaos.
Yes.
It's also, it was interesting as a season, like as a premise of a reality show where the point is like, how many combinations are there? And you're like, you just made
limitless.
this like
Yeah.
exponentially harder for the gays only, and it feels like a hate crime, honestly. Like rude.
I know. I always did have my little bracket where I was like, who's going to
Your
be together at the
brackets.
end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you win?
No, it was way too hard to guess. Like Leigh said, it was like there were too many possibilities.
There were so many
the combinations were
permutations.
literally
Yes.
endless. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was not easy.
You're like, this is what's a factorial? What do we do?
Yeah.
Just multiply and multiply and multiply. Okay.
It was a
Like
lot.
you need a stats class to figure out how many possible couples you could have on that show. It was crazy.
It was so fun though.
Oh, yeah, sounds like it.
Since it has been a pretty long time since the show, what would you say, like, obviously you went through some shit together, like, how has your relationship changed since being on the show?
Oh, yeah. So there's so much shit we went through. To say the least.
You went through some shit, and that's okay.
I think the shit made it real for us, you know, because some of the things, it was kind of a situation where you would normally come across in the wild, right, in real life, but it made you come up with these things even, you know, sooner than maybe if it was going down the line of like dating for 4 years or whatever it is. So it made us confront things on the spot sooner and went pretty real pretty quick. Like
Yeah.
trust stuff, you know?
Yeah, I would say it impacted us in every way possible that you could think of, and even those that you can't think of, because it really is just
But, like,
like
Tell us how you really feel, though, Sam.
yeah, like I guess if you're not in it, it's like so hard to even describe what it's like being in this like bubble of like not knowing what's going on around you. And like, let me tell you, when we saw the show, we were like, oh, that's what was happening.
Yeah. That's why
no
that
idea.
happened.
Like,
Yeah.
it filled in so many like blank spaces, even for us, like being there.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you? There must be something. I know that it's weird and like invasive, but sometimes I also feel like, don't you ever wish that you're just like, I wish there was a camera in this place that I'm not in right now, so that I could like review the tapes later. You know, like
Oh,
there's.
yeah.
It's in a weird way. It's like, there's something nice about that. In like a Big Brother dystopian kind of way. It's nice, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wish cameras followed me out on one night with my mate that met up with me after dinner. Like I wish there was some cameras to say this actually went down versus no, that's a complete lie.
Yeah.
That's a complete made up thing, you know? So yeah, there was many times when I wish cameras were in places that
I mean, even with the cameras, it's mostly made up and edited anyways, so there's no way to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a big one too, is what I think most people don't realize is how distorted some of the things are. And you watch it back and you go, did that happen? Like you're like gaslighting yourself again, like on top of being gaslit. So yeah, it's another like editing process that happens. But that was a learning experience because I had no idea. You think you do, but then when you go into it, you really don't know how it's gonna, you think you're prepared, but you're not prepared. So yeah.
But here you are, the one couple left standing, the survivor.
The survivors. We
Yes.
said that with Tiff. We said it's like coming out on the other end. Yes. Where's the millions? Where's the millions, man? Like, man, that was like trauma money, like.
You should really
Yeah.
be getting some trauma money for sure.
Yeah.
like a cash prize, one lump
Yes.
payout,
Yes. So you are still friends with some people from the show, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And some we're not.
That's okay.
That feels right. We have no comment on that. We're just gonna say that
neither.
feels right.
Yeah.
No comments.
We won't ask for names. We're just gonna say, yeah, sure. Makes sense.
We understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, anything else that you want to share with our listeners about the ultimatum before we head into our should have been gay of it all?
I mean, I think we're both just like grateful for the opportunity to now have a platform to just talk about some real life stuff and, hang out with both of you. We probably wouldn't have had this opportunity and just be some representation that we
Yeah.
don't get to see.
Like
I
the
love
really
that.
important stuff of
Yeah,
talking about how
About
gay
how
Quizlet
gay
should
Quizlet
be.
is. Yeah. Yes.
Like important life stuff,
Exactly.
Well, I love to because even before you were on the ultimatum, you were doing the Keep It Saucy, right? Like this is
Yeah.
something that's been important to you for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, this is something that we've envisioned. And it was when we first got together, there was a common values, our core values were aligned. And it was something that we saw as an opportunity if we could uplift, folks that may not get the opportunity to like voice their experience or voice, what was not talked about in certain situations or even cultures like mine, is to raise awareness. So yeah.
A lot of orgs didn't know it, but we were scoping them out in that interim between filming and when the show came out, because we were like, we want to know who's like real and not just wanting something from us. So we were actually like hopping into meetings and like attending stuff to know like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned is there are fake people in this world. that was something that I learned from the Ultimatum. So there are
Listeners,
fake
you're hearing
people.
it here first. Not everyone
It's
is
real.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
Not everyone is upfront.
I was so naive. I really thought everybody was before the show, but yeah. It's not true.
No, but that's great though that you had that time again to just sort of like know what was like know winter is coming, you know, but be able to prepare in advance. That's good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that when
great.
I use that. Winter is coming.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I have to say it now because so we'll do this when we get to the end, but I feel like in this movie especially where our ship options will be limited, but like one of the things we do every Should Have Been Gay is talk about like our ships and then we come up with ship names for them. And like what a chef's kiss of like
your ship name, is that what you're saying?
Saucy is,
Yeah, I know, it's perfect.
It's great. Because we come up with the worst ship names every time. Like they're just always terrible. So I want to, you know, just take a little bit at the top and comment on how great a ship name that is.
Well, this
Congrats.
one is responsible for it because she came up with the tiff and, you know, stiff in the show as well as, you know, saucy. So,
But Tiff still
She's a
gets to
ship-
use it because Tiff's partner's name is Sam.
Sam. So that's
That's
oh my god,
so
stop.
funny.
That's funny. That's amazing.
That is
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, I will say one of the other things that I also loved about the show was your friendship with Tiff. Like, I feel like you and Tiff really helped each other out a lot. It was very, like, wholesome and sweet queer friendship to see. Like, I feel like that's what set it apart from the straight Ultimatum, because you had people who were, like, in a couple, but, like, with clear friendship boundaries, just, like, helping each other.
Yeah.
It was
I
very
had
nice to see.
I had a bromance with Tiff, and that wasn't in the show, but I totally went on. It was amazing connection, and Tiff is an amazing person. Yeah.
Yeah. We considered ourselves the comedic relief.
I mean, it's funny though. It's like it's something we talked about with someone else on the topic of queer reality TV shows. Is that we're like, I feel like it's so much harder sometimes for like queer reality TV to make things work because I feel like queer people are a little bit more honest with ourselves about like who we are or are not attracted to and like what we're attracted to in terms of like types of people, personalities, identities. Like it's so different. It's not just like we're, you know, I feel like straight reality shows, they're just like, just put guy and girl in box and shake until they want to sleep together. And you're like, that's just not how that works. Like, sometimes you're just going to be like, okay, and we're just going to hang out in this apartment for the next couple of weeks, right? Like, cool, great. We'll have like a little queer sleepover.
Oh, 1,000%, Leigh. Like there's, for me, like I've talked about this with my my friends is, you know, I have an internal attraction and an external attraction. Like, so someone can present more feminine and I'm attracted to that, but someone can present like Tiff, you know, masculine, but I'm not attracted to that in that way. So there's just so much more, you know, permutations as we talked about before. And nuances, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not to hate on the hetero versions, but like they typically just talk about babies. Like, do you want babies? And can I meet your parents? Or like, where do you live? And that's like the extent of a lot of their conversations.
How much money?
Do my
How much
friends
money?
like you?
How much money will you bring?
That too.
So true. I know. Also, I'm so guilty. I told my girlfriend, I was like, I don't want to watch this most recent Love is Blind season. Like, I just don't want to watch it. And she's like, well, I started it and I just have it on. And then I was like sitting down and I was hooked on it. And I was like, why am I watching this show again?
Damn it.
I was like, no, but you're so right. They literally are like, there's a whole argument about birth control. And I'm just like, what is happening here? So yeah, but we could talk about this forever. But let's dive in.
Okay, bring it together.
Let's dive into the quiz lady. So Leigh,
okay,
will you give
I'm
us
ready.
our IMDb synopsis for
anyone
Quiz Lady?
who has not seen the 2023 absolutely so fucking funny movie Quiz Lady, and if you haven't, you should. The IMDb synopsis is as follows. A game show obsessed woman and her estranged sister work together to help cover their mother's gambling debts.
All right, solid.
Oh, that's all it says?
Dun, dun,
That's
dun.
it. That's the
Yeah.
whole IMDb synopsis, in case
Oh,
you were
wow.
wondering. They are frequently disappointing.
But they also
That
really,
was.
this is Mr. Linguini erasure.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
God
Sucks.
damn it. But we can make it better. So we're going to do our gay synopsis. So we'll let Sam and Aussie, we'll let you start since you suggested this film. What's your gay synopsis for the quiz lady?
I mean, I don't know how else to say it other than like when we re-watched the movie, it was like the whole thing is just gay. Like every character in it, like every city they're in, like everything about it is just gay.
Every situation, like, could have been turned into this. This should have been gay. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. Like we
I
have the
agree.
pug, but it should have been a cat. You know, like it's just you're replacing it with that, right? So
This is dog
It-
lesbian erasure.
I know. I'm like, I have a pug. He's the
You have a
best.
puggle who's like 3 times the size of Mr. Linguini
I
somehow.
have a puggle. Yes.
Oh, my
Um,
family loves puggles.
yeah,
He's very cute and very fat. And that's okay.
Yes, it
That's okay.
is. That has to
Um,
be part of the attribute of a puggle.
Yes. As chubby as possible.
Yes.
Leigh, what's your gay synopsis for this film?
Okay, my gay synopsis for this film reads as follows. Make Sandra Oh gay, you cowards. Make Awkwafina gay, you cowards. Make Mr. Linguini gay, you cowards. Gay
Love it.
synopsis of this movie.
All right, here's
Oh,
mine.
freaking fantastic.
Mine just really took that IMDb synopsis. So, a neurodivergent lesbian quiz lady and her chaotic bisexual sister work together to help cover their mother's gambling debts. That's what I saw.
I love it.
That's so much better.
That is so much better and more
That's it.
accurate.
That's it. I mean, it's obvious. I mean,
Yes.
Sandra Oh's character is so chaotically bi, it's insane.
Right?
Yes.
Like insane. But yeah, I feel like this is an interesting should have been gay for us. We'll talk about our like experiences with it too. But because like usually it's like we'll watch something where it's like there's 2 women and there's some serious subtext between them. Like they're sisters. We're not like there's really
should
not
we,
a lot
Like,
of
we're not
Should we
doing that.
PSA now? Like we're not
We're not
doing incest this
we are
episode.
not doing that. We are not doing that.
We're not doing it.
But it also, I think, gives us a fun opportunity to talk about the ways that people are gay without having another person to be attracted to in
Uh-huh.
your space, right? So I think it'll be
Yes.
fun. But let's discuss. So what was your experience with Quiz Lady? Sam and Aussie, like when did you watch it? How many times have you seen it?
Well, we actually saw it not too long after it came out as well. And we hadn't seen it again until we were like preparing for this. And we were shocked. Like we started taking notes and we like filled
Yeah.
out more than a page.
Yeah. We're like, oh my gosh, every scene is gay.
Like, I don't remember it being this gay.
We put our gay lenses on. And then, so yeah.
It made me want to rewatch every movie, like
Yeah.
trying to see what makes it gay.
Because,
yeah,
you know,
this
if
is
you-
we always say you're watching with wiser, gayer eyes, and it's a totally different movie.
Oh, it totally is. And I feel like, oh yeah, I feel like every movie, when you watch it with the lenses, there's always a subtext, right? So
Yeah.
that, yeah, it's just like a brand new world, a brand new movie even, you know,
Yeah.
to watch.
I will
And
say
listen-
it is a dark path to go on because
Yes.
I cannot watch a movie. Like I literally can't watch it without
You
like
can't
me and
turn
Leigh
it
will just
off.
text each other and be like, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this movie?" Like you don't understand.
Well,
It
first,
must
the
be done.
Wall of ties. Come on.
It's like you'll go back and watch a movie that you've seen so many times that you've been watching like since you were a kid, you know, and you watch it again now. This is our 122nd of these, right? So we're like, you go back and do it, and you're like, oh no, I can't turn. There's not an off.
There's
switch.
not a
There's
switch.
no off switch.
Yeah, it's constantly
Like
on.
Miss Honey and Matilda. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
We've done
Come
Matilda.
on.
Matilda's
yeah,
a
you
good one.
guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Come
Mhm.
on.
It's
Everyone
endless.
was
It's endless.
Yeah, everyone's childhood crush, Miss Honey.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/Lez Hang Out today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Lez Hang Out.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Baking Hershey's Kisses Peanut Butter Blossoms is the perfect way to celebrate the holiday season with friends and family. With their classic, rich, creamy milk chocolate taste, there's no better way to heartwarm the holidays than by baking with Kisses chocolates. Find Hershey's Kisses holiday chocolates at your favorite retailer.
What about you, Ellie? What was your experience with Quiz Lady?
Yeah, I also watched it pretty early on. Like, I feel like it was like, it was on Hulu and it was like just showing up on the thing. And I was like, okay, Sandra Oh and Awkwafina, I freaking love them. Like, I'm watching this. Immediately put it on. Loved it. It's so funny. Like we said, if you have not watched this movie, please watch it. I checked on Rotten Tomatoes because when you're like, I'm obsessed with this movie. Like, everyone else must love it, right? It has a really good score on Rotten Tomatoes as well. It's at 81%, which is pretty good for like, you know, for most films. Yeah, it's just so funny. It made me cry because I have a sister that I'm very close to. We're not quite the same as these two sisters, I will say, personality-wise. But if we had to be, I guess I would be Sandra Oh.
Yay!
But I just think it's it was such a heartfelt and funny film. And then I watched it again in preparation for this and was reminded how great of a movie it is again. Like, I feel like this is one that I will keep in my, I'm sad, let me put on a funny, cute movie.
Yes.
It's going to be a meditation.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, can I tell you, because I am apparently the only person who had not seen this coming in. So you requested this. I mean, I'd heard of it. I'd seen clips or like TikToks of like that ending scene with them acting out the stuff, but I hadn't watched the whole movie yet. And I have to tell you, Sam and Aussie, that because like my poor wife, right? Like, we do so many of these movies, and we have two small children. We don't have like a whole lot of time to watch TV or like catch up on things, and so my poor wife, who has to sometimes sit through just like a slog of movies where I'm just like, I'm so sorry, we have to watch this 15-year-old terrible movie that nobody wants to see again just so that I can do it for the podcast. And so I told her like earlier in this week, I was like, hey, I have to watch a thing for the podcast this week, like, just so you know, like, you know, plan out the next 2 nights that it takes us to finish a movie. And she was like, okay, what are we watching? And I was like, I think you'll actually like it. And so we started it, and like she was fucking crying, laughing like the whole time. I think this is like top movies for her now. She was so happy. So I was like, yay for you guys picking a movie that made my wife not hate me for making her sit through it with me. So
it's so underrated.
I feel
it really is. It really is. It's so wild. Like, I can't believe that we hadn't watched it yet. Like, it's great. Yeah. It's so good. It's so funny. I know that we have done some bad movies, listeners, but if you haven't watched this one, it's really worth it.
It's actually good, we promise. But it is crazy. Like, this is just me going on a like society these days rant. But like, it is like, in the age of streaming, it's like there's a window of time in which this show is like, they push it and then they stop pushing things. And like, we as people who consume media have to like tell other people, you have to watch this, and like there's so many things to watch. But this is definitively worth watching.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so worth it. It's also, you know why it warmed my heart too, is like, I feel like Sandra Oh just became so synonymous with Grey's Anatomy as her like rise to stardom. And I'm like, but my love for Sandra Oh began with her teeny tiny role as Principal Gupta in The Princess Diaries.
Yes.
And I'm like, I love watching Sandra Oh do comedy.
Gupta. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Queen is coming to Grove High School.
It's like, it's such a tiny nothing part.
Sorry, I
had
to do it.
I love, like, to me, that's Sandra Oh. Like, that's my first, like, you know, conscious memory of Sandra Oh on my screen. And I'm like, she's so fucking funny. And I feel like she does not get those roles enough because she's so talented. She's just a great actress, dramatic actress as well. And so, and I get it. I'm like, sure, you want to give her the role with the breadth and all this stuff, and like, fine, yes, she can do that too. But like, she's fucking hysterical. Give her these parts like this.
God,
her and Awkwafina,
such a good Sandra Oh part.
Good. Like, literally, the two of them together is so good.
It's a riot. Oh yeah, I love that background scene when she's like being introduced the first time, and she's outside the building, and she's running, and then she gets smacked.
Yes. Also, the getting hit by the car, like getting hit by the car, and then almost getting hit by the same car in the parking lot when they're leaving. It's so good.
Her comedic timing. You're right. Her comedic timing's amazing. Yes. And you're right. Like, it is like a non-type, or was an anti-type for her to play that character. And it was so refreshing as well to play, you know, for her to show up in a, you know, comedic role like that. That was just Yeah, just well written.
Well,
I
the
think.
last thing we saw her in was Killing Eve, and she was
Yeah.
brilliant in that.
Oh yeah.
And gay. Let's just say it. Okay,
Yes.
anyways.
Well, that was my kind of introduction to Sandra Oh, and I have to say I'm gonna go back and watch all these other ones that you've mentioned. But for me, it was Killing Eve, and I was like, man, she's a gay icon. Like she plays that role really well. And then I see her in like Chris Lady,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, she's funny as hell too.
Well, and you know what else? I feel like, people make those memes where it's like the little handshake one. I feel like you could make a meme and it would be like Sandra Oh as Eve, Sandra Oh as Jenny, like being attracted to someone like Villanelle. Like that's where they would meet in the middle. Because you cannot convince me that Jenny would not get a little hot and bothered by Villanelle. Like she'd be into the chaotic of it. Absolutely.
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah, that's why I said like emphasis on the chaotic, but like that is a chaotic bisexual if I have ever freaking seen one. Also just her. Okay, so let's dive into which character should have been gay. And I guess let's start with Jenny since we're all just like going with Sandra Oh right now. Yeah. But to me, right, Jenny's whole thing is like, I'm free and like I live my life how I want to live my life and like nobody else can tell me how to live my life, blah, 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 right? Like, so I feel like to her, like, I know they don't quite say it in the movie, but I'm gonna read the subtext of her that like all these, like she talks about all these ex-boyfriends. She's like, oh yeah, Chad gave it to me. Or like, oh yeah, this other person gave it to me. I think actually at one point she does name a Sam. Does she?
Yeah, like
I feel
Sammy
like she,
or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, Sammy,
Yeah.
we're like that could not be a man.
Right.
We did
right?
say
We
that.
have no clue when she's talking about
It's
all these
vague.
exes. It's very vague.
Yeah.
What the gender identity of these
It's non-gendered.
exes are.
Yeah. You just need a growing list of those names.
Yeah. But they definitely make it look like she's on a date too, like in the cafe with the waitress. And their faces get very close together.
What was the waitress's name? Wendy?
I don't remember the name.
That was one of
Or
the
is that the name
jokes.
that she thought it was? I can't remember.
Yeah, probably.
Can't remember if that was actually her name or her made up name. Now I need to find this woman.
Marge? Wait, I don't know.
That is
One of those is her name, and one of them is the name that she like says at the end. That's wildly wrong, and I cannot for the life of me remember. Oh, I think it's Marge. Okay, I think you're right,
Marge.
Ellie. I think it's Marge, and she calls her Wendy.
Yeah.
Well, I also love too talking about the waitress. Like she's so like, how many freaking queer women have we seen who are like, I'm manifesting this for you. I'm gonna read your crystals, read your aura. Like,
yeah.
What in the world? Like, that is not a straight woman.
No.
She literally says, like, I manifested this for you. I'm like, we're there. We're in queer
talk.
manifestation. Exactly. That is queer manifestation.
Yeah.
To the max.
Language. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This is kind of going off Jenny's character, but we were talking about crystals, and that was on, Awkwafina's little.
Oh, yeah. Like had a bunch of crystals by the TV.
Yeah. So they're both gay, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I feel like Jenny taught Awkwafina. She's like, Jenny gave her those crystals.
Oh,
and she like taught her all the gay shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's great. She's like fighting it, but she was raised like that.
Yes.
She can't let go of her sister's teachings on manifesting.
The sisters of it all like really gets me because Awkwafina's Anne is so like resentful of her older sister, but you see like so much shit of how she took care of her, and I'm like, my heart literally, I want to throw it and step on it.
Yes.
It hurts so bad. On the second watch, when they're in the when she's talking about shitting in the hole.
Ellie's crying.
Ellie's
like, it's so beautiful.
And this is why Sandra Oh is such a good actress.
Hero.
Because she literally like her hand is like completely dislocated. But she's like, yeah, I never knew you shit in the hole. Of course I didn't.
flop, 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 wrist.
I did totally watch Sandra Oh's acting in that scene. Like the whole thing of like, I'm not going to tell you, but I did it. But then I'm not, but I'm going to be supportive. It was great acting. Like her expressions on her face, the nuances of the what she did for her, but then holding back and making, it was just such a lovely moment. But funny as hell with the broken wrist.
So good.
That the physical comedy of the wrist was like, God.
But it looks so real. Like, I don't even know how they did that.
I'm like so queasy. I can't watch stuff like that. So I'm like, I can't. Can you tell me when it's over?
So
I
funny.
can't.
It's so funny. Can we also discuss as a person, I feel like as a character, when you have that character who just sort of like goes through life being like, if I just yell loud enough, and specifically the fact that she keeps playing up the like, do you know how hard it is to be an Asian woman? I'm like, make her gay. It's gonna be so much funnier. Like, it's gonna be so much funnier when she gets to be like, do you know how hard it is to be a gay Asian woman in this country?
I love that.
Give her all of them. Let her go down the minority rabbit hole.
So
Do
good. I'm curious. You said you had like a page of notes. So what's on your notes specifically about Jenny?
Oh, we have so many. Let's see. I mean, I guess one of the more nuanced ones too is that being in the cafe and she's drinking iced coffee, which is just like
gay culture.
Yeah, like it's just one of
So
those things.
true.
It's like,
So true.
Gay.
yeah, we didn't like separate it, so we have to like read it out.
Live
That's okay.
editing on air.
We did write Sammy as well, and
As the person that Jenny was dating, as non-bi. Well, could have been non-binary.
Wait,
who
how many gender non-specific
Well,
names
even
do we have?
even
like,
Chad, I feel like
Oh,
could be a
yeah.
trans man's chosen name.
1,000.
You
they
know what
didn't
I
show
mean?
His,
Could
yeah,
be.
and they didn't show his face.
Yeah.
Like it was, yeah.
We have no
Yeah.
clue. I don't know. I'm reading all of her exes as some sort of queer. Like Jenny has never been in a straight relationship.
No, and she drives a Subaru Outback too.
oh, you
Yes.
did catch that.
Yes, she does drive a
Yes.
Subaru and she drives it into the ground. I also love how like she has like the what's it called? The back taillights are taped together. I'm like, oh my god.
she's a disaster gay.
Yeah. We all
She
know
re-
one of those, right? Come on, we're dating
Yes.
one at least.
You know what I think is the gayest
Exactly.
thing about Jenny to me as a character, maybe not as a character, as a role in this show, is that like she so clearly was feels like a role that was like written for Margaret Cho and then cast as Sandra Oh, and I'm like, and this is better. Like this is no hate to Margaret Cho, like, but she
But it was
reminded me
written
so.
as a lesbian character, is what you're saying.
It reminded me of Margaret Cho's character in
Fire
what's
Island.
Fire Island,
Fire Island?
right?
Oh,
Like, didn't this just feel like
yes.
that character like picked up and dropped in this movie?
Like
And
a
I'm like,
younger
so
one?
gay, like gay.
And, like,
yes,
it's
yes.
times
This
10.
is like, yeah,
Yes.
this is her chaotic early days of like how she gets the money to buy the Fire Island house and like
yes. Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that.
You're onto something.
Uh-huh.
it
Prequel,
just read
too.
gay.
Yeah. Prequel. Fire Island was a prequel to the Quiz Lady.
No, the other
Yes.
way around.
Yeah, Quiz Lady,
secret- the secret cinematic
Fire Island's
universe.
the sequel. Yeah, Fire Island's the
The
sequel.
sequel.
But I do feel like you're also onto something, Leigh, in that Jenny would for sure only be friends with like a shit ton of gay men.
Yes.
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 Holy
Like
shit.
a lot of them.
Yes.
Like,
I mean,
she's
she just
constantly out at
marched
the
in.
gay bar. Mhm.
Yes.
We just connected the universes, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yes. Yes.
Different timelines.
Also, like the hair, like the aesthetics of Jenny,
Right.
like
Oh,
the
yeah.
blue and pink of it all,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
right?
yeah.
Like she's
Mhm.
constantly, she has the blue hair, she has
And-
the pink outfits, like
right.
Oh, yeah.
And
the
not
she's
just the
basically
blue
the
and
bisexual
pink.
flag.
But it's like blue and pink and in an aesthetic that she looks like she's constantly about to like walk onto the set of a 1980s music video. Right? Like She is full, like, one sleeve, this cut out, a little shoulder spike. I have glasses with different frames. Like, it's just, she's vibing, man. She's running on vibes alone.
Oh yeah. And now that you pointed that out, I agree with you. Her outfits.
They're
crazy.
so queer coded. Let's also discuss Annie.
Yes,
my
please.
Gosh. Where do we
Please.
start?
Oh my God.
Because that's the thing. They're so different. They're such different gays, but they're so gay.
I'm an Annie gay, let's be real, Ellie.
Yes. You would be the quiz lady.
Annie in this movie made me be like, no, my posture. Oh no. It's not good.
You're like, luckily I'm already on medication, so I don't need to take drugs for my sister.
I honestly it was so true. I was like, oh, I have such recommendations for your anxiety. Come on.
Annie, we can help you. Okay, but I love what you were saying about... Okay, so, sorry, Aussie. You think that Mr. Linguini should be a cat?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's that's our stereotype, right? But it's kind of like you have to make it interesting, right? So, and it's got to be different. So instead of having, because you would think that maybe the mum got kidnapped, right? Because the bad guy's coming after the mum, but instead it's the Linguini is. So you got to same thing with this kind of like lesbian trope is you got to make the cat different to what it normally is. So it's a pug in this case.
But you were also noticing that she kind of pets Mr. Linguini like a cat.
Yes, she
Yes.
does. And Mr. Linguini acts like a cat.
Yeah.
Its acting skills is like a cat.
Do you think it's a cat in a pug suit?
Oh, could be. That's a good question.
I don't know. It's a lot of roles. Like there could be something underneath that. But I do feel like even if Mr. Linguini is a pug, but if Mr. Linguini was a cat, the attachment to an animal,
Oh yeah.
to that degree, is gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You saw it on the Ultimatum.
Bringing it all back.
Seriously.
Oh, that's amazing.
I feel like the dedication to keeping a dog alive for like 2 decades.
Like, yeah, how freaking old is that dog?
Old.
They did say like 20 years, I think,
20
right?
years. Yeah.
That is an old ass dog.
Only queers can do that.
That's what I'm saying.
And like adding on to the
It's the crystals.
to the anxious gayness of it all. I feel like Mr. Linguini is her
Emotional
therapy
support.
dog.
Yeah.
Our emotional support animal.
Yeah.
Well, even at the end, when they brought Mr. Linguini onto the set, like he was wearing the little vest.
Yeah.
He's so cute. And
That whole conversation that they have with the producer on the side who's like, but it's clearly a fake vest. It's like, yeah. I feel like that is also a very gay move to be like, no, I need my dog actually. Sorry.
Totally. Well, just going off a little bit on like a serious note is that our community suffers a lot from, trauma. And I feel like it did make me think of some of the people that I know in my life that require an emotional, animal in their life to, function. So kind of like that line where it does represent a lot of us folks who are in the community that, our existence is, it's so, it kind of made me think of that. So.
Oh, for sure. And I do feel like that's why this movie is just so good on so many levels.
Yes.
Because it is like silly and fun. And yet you have this character who deals with a lot of anxiety. And like it's silly and fun, but it's also real.
Yes.
And you see her sister like protect her and take care of her in all of those things. And like it just makes you want to cry. But it is like you said, like we talk about this a lot on It Should Have Been Gay. Like trauma, gay. Like it just
Yeah.
it just is. It just is. And so like they also have a lot of family trauma.
Yes. And I can relate to that, you know? Yeah, I can totally relate. I mean, not the specific thing, but I can relate to a lot of the cultural stuff, you know? And it's like shoved under the carpet or not talked about or not. And so there was a lot of cultural stuff that I related to as well. Yeah.
And that can be one of the things too, is that maybe they don't have the relationship with the mom or the parents because it's not accepted. And then they have that whole idea of like chosen family with Will Ferrell and like, yeah, like they're all there.
Or
all the signs.
Or the other lesbian character next door.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The grumpy
But
old lesbian.
think about how awesome, like how hard, Ellie, would you have cried if we had that movie kind of like lead up to a scene where you have Annie being like, my family would never accept like who I love, right? And then you just have Will Ferrell being like, well, I don't care who you love, like with his little bow tie on. Like, you know, like he would have had such a good speech about being like, you know, like we're all on this earth for just the short amount of time. And like, you just got to make the most of the time you have here while you're here. And like, who cares who you love? Like you would have been weeping, right? Like,
I mean, I already was, but yes, Terry McTeer, gay ally for sure.
yes.
Oh yeah.
And like all of the main actors and actresses are all like really strong allies, I feel like, in the community, or they are like icons in their own roles. And so that was like just another nuanced thing that not everyone would recognize.
Yeah, like Holland Taylor, you know?
But even Will Ferrell
Yeah, Will
had
Ferrell,
something recently of like his best friend is trans and they had like that, I don't remember what it was about, but like they're all like actually allies or icons in the community.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you have Sandra Oh from Killing Eve. You have Holland Taylor, who's just like gay icon forever.
Gay, yeah.
Is Awkwafina queer in real life?
Well,
we're hoping. Like,
right? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like she's been quite gay in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
When I think about Awkwafina, that's what I think about. Like, yeah. So who knows?
She gives up queer vibes.
She does.
1,000%.
So
yeah.
She's just like,
fingers crossed.
Not that we know of. We're still waiting.
Yeah. It's kind of like Queen Latifah, you know? I feel like we're still waiting, but...
No, Queen Latifah
did come out.
Did she come out?
Yeah.
She's out.
But it definitely took a long time. It definitely
we all knew for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Set it off. Like, I was like, you know, do you both remember, it was in the 90s, so Set It Off, the movie with like Jada Pinkett and a couple of the other folks that Vivica Fox, I think, was in it too. Yeah, that was like my childhood, like gay, should have been gay movie as well, like as a young lesbian at the time. So
but yeah, it looks like, I'm sorry, I needed to look this up to confirm. In 2021, she like super came out.
Oh, cool.
But I think before that she like was slow playing.
Like Jodie Foster came out, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
just like one little baby step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The coming out where the closet door just goes like
yeah. Yeah, it says she had been dating someone since 2015, and then in 2017 there was speculation they were engaged, and then in 2019 she like said my love to this person, and then 2020 she said happy Pride.
Oh wow!
It was a slow play.
Familiar.
That's all it takes.
It was a slow play, but she finally did it.
Oh, good.
But that's okay. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a few times on the podcast. It's like, I can't imagine the amount of pressure that it is at that level to come out. But we can all wishful think and hope that we just want these people who we love and admire to be a part of our community.
Yeah. Exactly.
We just want everyone to be gay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's be real with ourselves.
Yes. Yeah. Well, also
Sandra's
because
gay.
just makes the world feel more for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
But
Can we discuss another, and maybe this is just me, in terms of like things that felt highly relatable about Anne as a character, but like the sweating.
is
that just
sweating
me?
inherently gay? Is that?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, I am pretty. Wait, I am pretty sweaty. Wait,
I think
I'm
just
sweaty.
that scene where she's like,
raise her arms up. It's so good.
just the arms up
Are so
with
good.
like these puddles under her arms.
I can totally relate.
I was crying. I
and
was
that like
crying.
perpetually angry face.
Yes. I honestly, like, I want to know how she stood that, like, held that posture for this whole movie. Like, how long was filming? That has to be bad for your back. It's not healthy, Awkwafina. What did you have to do to learn to stand like that? It's so... Oh my god.
So stressful.
Okay, one scene we haven't talked about yet that I think was pretty significant is when Anne was on her trip and they were playing Harry Styles in the background. And then Jenny appeared as the sun, like in the Teletubbies.
Yes.
Watermelon Sugar High. Yes.
Yes.
So gay.
The trip was so funny. I also was like, just gonna say, like, Jenny's character, like, there is also always that one gay who has a shit ton of drugs in their bag. Like, that's just a thing. Just there's at least one at the party.
For sure.
There's at least one.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, there's
like-
just like always that one gay Ellie who's like flying drugs places. I don't know, man. It
I,
seems-
for legal reasons, I will not say who that is. But got it.
There's that one gay who's flying the drugs in, and that one gay who's having a really, really bad
Who's-
trip on them.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. I love how she literally, like, she just eats them all.
Yes.
Yes.
That was terrifying.
And I was thinking that was not an accident. I think she knew. I mean, like, who eats 5 of them? You know, like, oh, just take them. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the
that's-
higher your anxiety, the less you want to take a lot of drugs too.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Also, sorry, we went on a whole thing about Jenny's ex's names, and we have not yet talked about Francoise. I just, I feel like it's important. I just have a note or a line in my notes that just says, quote, Francoise was not see-through, which, A, hilarious. B, Francoise, we say. Because, like, listen, not to harp on the, like, French of it all, but, like, a man would be named Francois, not Francoise. I'm just throwing that out there, okay?
Oh, yes. I totally wrote down Francoise. Because, okay, here's the thing. You even if you say it's a woman, if it was a man, she's also so adamant. We were never dating, we were just friends.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
True.
Kind of
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
time Jenny asks her if she's like just into Ron or like has a crush on, she's like, no. Like she's so aggressively like not attracted to any man.
Yes. She's like, do not even say I was with Francoise. Like, that is not a thing that would ever happen. Yeah. But wait, we haven't talked.
Except she was with Francoise because Francoise is a
Okay,
girl.
yes.
I'm just
And it was one of those like free gay kind of relationships.
Mm,
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't know. What did they say about Francoise in the actual movie?
literally my one note is Francoise was not see-through, and that was
That's
the only
it.
part I was focused
Right? Like, it
on.
was just that, like, he was allergic to the sun, right? That's all we hear about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Francoise may or may not have been a vampire, which also feels
Little
a little
gay, yeah, a little
Yeah,
preferred.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Totally gay.
So, I wanted to talk about Ron.
Ron or Ron and Bart?
Yeah, Ron and Bart, right? Ron and Bart are
Okay, thank
clearly
you.
together, right?
Yeah.
Ron is the most annoying gay man. Like, the two of them would be. This is going to be a super random, specific story, but you can follow me. So I played for the Human Rights Campaign Gala in Boston, and after the gala, I stayed and, like, you know, hanging out, talking to people. Talked to these two gay men who are just like the stereotype of old gay men. And then this one gay man spilled wine on my cell phone and it broke. And
No.
he did 0.
Nothing. Yeah.
I told him, I'm like, you broke my cell phone. He's like, oh, sorry. I was like, no, like, gonna help me pay for a new cell phone, like none of that. Ron and Bart are those men. That's why I tell the story.
No, here's what I can tell you.
Would happen.
Ron would like try to make it into this like big funny thing where like somehow like it was your fault and it like he was hurt by this. Bart would just turn around and walk out of the room. possibly out of the party. Like he might just go straight home, that man. He would have no time for this. He's like a shell. He has no personality. He's just there to like interpret.
Their opposites
charades,
attract.
and that's it.
They're very opposites attract here.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, we were saying that about Ron and Bart for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And they would be those
Yeah.
those kind of men.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
so
Listen, Ron and his obsession with the makeup on his hands, like,
yeah.
there's nothing straight about that, okay? Stop having them touch up your fingers, my guy.
And like
What
teeth
is happening?
whitening, right? It's
yeah.
like his teeth are like super white.
Oh, yeah. It's all about making his fingers look skinny on certain angles. Oh, yeah.
quite
yeah, for sure.
superficial.
Yeah,
yes.
referring to yourself as a peacock, the straightest man ever. Okay.
But also, okay, here's another thing. If Ron was not Ron, I think one way to make it more gay, where Awkwafina would have a love interest, would be to make the Ron character a woman. Because then what you have earlier, where Sandra Oh's like, oh, are you nervous that you're gonna go meet Ron and your hatred really is strong sexual attraction, would actually be an incredible twist if it was a woman.
If it was a woman, yes.
Oh, my
That's
gosh.
so much better than my really sad attempts to be like, how can I ship Anne with Tina from the temp agency at the Ben Franklin Inn? Like, who's the only other woman in this movie?
Not Francine.
Not
Holland
who?
Taylor.
Oh, not Holland Taylor. I mean, we could.
Holland Taylor's always in age gap relationships anyways.
That's so true. I was gonna do Jenny and Holland Taylor, but I don't know if I'd go. I don't know if I'd go Anne and Holland Taylor.
Jenny and Holland
Yeah, I
Taylor would
see
be
that.
pretty funny.
Oh,
They'd
yeah.
be funny.
Oh,
Oh,
they
yeah.
they do have that chemistry too, like, you know, that kind of hate love, that kind of thing, you know.
Mhm.
But they're working
They just-
together, but not.
They joke about her owing her $100 every time. You know, like they just.
Yes,
I think so. I think it
I
would
can
work.
see it.
I love that.
That's so true.
Oh, well, what about the guy at the Ben Franklin Inn? Also gay, right?
Oh my god. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I love him from other things, but yeah, we were actually checking that up. It's like, is he really gay in real life too? But
Is he?
from, you know,
Tony
No,
Hale, I don't
That we
think he
could
is.
find. No.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
really good at playing those characters.
Oh, he's so funny.
he's so good.
Also, okay, another honorable mention. What do we think about Ken and his entire crew?
Yeah. Like,
Totally
they're
the man buns. Come on.
I mean, then they all have dogs on their laps
I
while they're playing
know.
poker.
Yeah.
Right.
They just care so much about the dogs and taking care of
Yes.
the dogs.
Yes.
Fuzzy blankets or furry blankets.
I mean, did you watch them throw the star things as they're running after
Oh,
Jenny as she kidnapped? Like that.
The little ninja
pen-
stars.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Oh God.
I can see it. Ken is so, yeah, like they're just very coiffed. You know,
Coiffed is a good.
very well
Yes.
manicured.
Yes.
Mhm.
The whole cast.
Yes. I think really everyone in there, because even Holland Taylor has this fascination with what is his name again? Alan Cummings.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
who's
Pee Wee Herman.
also yeah.
Yes.
And both of them, the ones that she confuses and the actual actor that she thought she liked, they're both like gay icons, and one's actually gay.
Yes. To be obsessed with Alan Cumming is that's on the nose.
So I feel like the only character that's not gay in the whole movie might be Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Terry.
And that is even questionable.
Yeah, you could tell me Terry goes home to a husband every night, and I would
True,
100%
actually
buy
true.
it.
Very
Yeah.
true.
The bow ties.
So then they're all gay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The bow ties.
I feel like
Yeah.
also we haven't quite covered Anne. Just like the fact that Anne is good at the quiz show, that in and of itself, like I feel like this, it's also just like mostly her neurodivergence, but we all know that like neurodivergence and the queer community is a pretty interlocked
Yeah, that Venn diagram.
Venn diagram.
is-
I think it's 90% actually. If you're queer, you're likely to be neurodivergent. So that's a high correlation.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
a
sense. That feels
insane.
right.
I mean, I know that
Yeah.
anecdotally, but for you to say that statistic to me, I'm like, yeah,
It's a stat. Yeah.
that makes sense.
And like the introvert's version of trivia night is just doing it at home on your couch.
Yes, with your cat.
With your cat.
In a pug suit.
But yes,
Next to your crystals.
Next to your crystals.
with your bisexual
Oh,
sister, like it
God.
just all adds up.
Oh, yeah.
It all adds up.
Incredible. Wait, I have one last Anne comment that we need to talk about, which is just the one line where she's like, "Why do you keep making me a man in your hypotheticals?" Like, I feel like that dynamic of their sister relationship, right? Of like just Jenny constantly making her a man. Like,
Yes.
That's all.
100%.
that's all.
We
That's
did
my
note
last.
that down
That's
too.
my last comment on Anne. That's all I had.
Do you have any other notes? I know you have a lot of notes. Do you have any other notes that we didn't hit before we head into
Well, yeah. What did we miss? What did we
our
miss?
ships?
Well, I didn't write down what Anne actually says, but she refers to her when she's talking to her coworkers towards the end. She also says something about like she's not an invisible little man or something.
Yes.
She says that about herself.
I'm not an invisible man. That's just like willing to put up with your food smell in my corner of the office. Yeah, that's
I do feel like we could also, we could have some sort of argument for Anne being non-binary, genderqueer, like
Right.
yeah.
Anne's got some stuff
I
going
mean,
on there.
her presentation, like the loafers.
Yeah.
Come on.
You're pretty much
got a pair of
wearing
those
Anne's
in my
outfit
closet.
right now, Aussie. The sweater.
Aussie, how much are you sweating? Quick, check. Quick check.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean,
Oh my
it's very
gosh.
obvious, though. I mean, thank you so much for suggesting this movie because, first of all, great film. And second of all, Quiz Lady should have been gay.
Should have been
Should've been
gay.
Should have been
Are
gay.
we daring to try any ships, Ellie? Are we gonna?
I mean, I
But
think we can still ship
we
some
have to-
people. We ship Ron and Bart. We
Okay.
ship, you
Great.
could ship
What's their?
Francine.
Oh no! Quick! What's their ship name?
What? Ron and Bart?
What's their ship name?
Rart?
Bon.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Bon.
Yeah, you can ship Leigh. You wanted to ship Jenny and Francine.
I do want to ship Jenny and Francine.
Yeah, I can see that.
What's their ship name?
Jancine.
Jancy.
They actually have a nice ship
Oh.
name.
It's not so. We've done worse. Let's be real. We just said "rart" out loud without really spending any time dwelling on that. So
Sam and Aussie, do you have any ships, any potential ships from all the characters?
I would say the closest one would be Jenny and the waitress. that we have
Marge.
made. Yeah.
as we have now decided her name is, yes.
Yes.
What's their ship
And
name?
that is kind of Marge with the J.
George? I don't think so. Manny.
That's why I don't do ship names.
Many. Oh, Many's better. Yeah.
I don't do ship names.
No, they're never good. This is why we just keep doing this to ourselves.
Sometimes, you're just not working with the best, like it's can be hard sometimes.
It's how you can tell if it's meant to be or not,
If you have a good ship name or not.
And then I'm gonna still throw out there Anne and Tina from the Ben Franklin Inn. You never know. You never know what can happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Teen Anne. Teen Anne.
Teen Anne.
Teen Anne? That feels wrong. Let's pick something else.
Anna.
And
no.
Their names are too close.
And T. Everything is bad. Why
Auntie's
is everything getting worse?
Perfect. And that is honestly, see, we had some ships. Obviously, it wasn't.
Good job, us.
Wasn't the central.
Good job
it was,
for not going for incest.
Never. We would never do that.
Congrats.
Amazing. All right, are you ready? We're gonna head into our Q&A. So we're gonna ask you some multiple choice or yes or no questions.
And gay.
Question number 1: what's your favorite game show? A. Jeopardy, B. Wheel of Fortune, C. Millionaire, or D. Family Feud?
Family Feud for me.
I would say Jeopardy,
Nice.
even though I don't normally know the answer.
That's not the point of watching Jeopardy from home, honestly. That's okay.
So you are not the quiz lady, and that's okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay, question 2. Who is the gayer sister? A. Jenny, or B. Anne?
Oh, that's a hard one. We just talked about this.
I'm just gonna go with Jenny.
I'm gonna go with Anne because
I like it. Fight,
I
fight,
relate.
fight. Okay.
All right, question number 3. How many dogs is too many dogs? A1, B3, C7, or D 10 plus?
I've never lived with more than one, so I'll say one.
Same here. I'll say 1 too because I've never looked at more than one.
I have a rule that my girlfriend doesn't particularly like, but I think is smart, which is no more animals than humans.
Oh, that's
That's
a good
it.
one.
So we have a cat and
we
we have a
didn't-
cat and a dog, and it's me and her. That's enough.
We didn't
Once
have
you
a
have
rule for how
3,
many.
That's too much.
Our rule was we can't have an animal that like either one of us cannot pick up on our own, which I think is also a good rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if you had to take care of her or,
Yeah.
move her or,
I feel like
That's a good one.
I already am struggling with that because my dog is almost 50 pounds.
He's a little chunker boy,
And I'm
he's
so
perfect just the way he is.
I feel like I could lift some. A regular human could lift something that's 50 pounds, but not me. So, or I can lift him, but not upstairs, and that's a struggle.
I'm gonna make you pick
So
up Audrey
add-
next
yeah,
time we
so
come visit.
add on
Ellie,
to-
I don't think you
Add
can.
on top of it, can pick it up and walk up the stairs. That's the
Yeah,
struggle.
there you go.
Right.
I could lift him for a minute, but the stairs, that's rough.
Listen, it has come in handy now that we have a completely blind dog that sometimes you just have to be like, I need you to be over here now. And she doesn't, she doesn't follow you so well anymore. So it's good. It's worked out. Okay, question 4. What would be your game show shtick out of A, bow ties, B, bringing your dog or cat, C, being sassy, or D, never losing?
Oh, I'm totally the bow tie. For sure.
I don't know.
I love
I
that.
have one for that.
It's okay. There's no wrong answer.
I'm like, I feel like I can be sassy, but I don't know if that would be like my thing.
Sassy or sexy?
No, sassy.
Oh. I think you could be both. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Don't
love
question it, Sam. Don't question it. Just go with it. Lean in. Lean in.
All right, our final question, which is really gonna have us get to know each other after this time together. Number 5. Where's the worst place to hide your shit? A, the pool. B, in a bush. C, under the car. Or D, in a hole.
Oh my God.
I would say the pool, because like, how do you hide it in the pool?
How do you hide it under a car?
You try to blame it on a bear or something, I don't know. Listen.
Oh, you would have to it would have to be like on the pavement, and you have to drive your car over it, because like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
how
it
that
came
would
from up the
happen.
road. It wasn't mine.
So it's car. Wait, so car and the pool. Those are our answers.
I would say the
Okay.
pool.
I'll say the car.
All right.
You can blame it for like stuff on the
Good
road.
answer.
Something.
Great answers. Well, on that note, thank you, Sam and Aussie, so much for spending time with
thank
us.
Oh, that was so fun.
It was so fun. Let our listeners know, where can they find you on all the social medias or anything else?
Oh, like our Instagram. We each have our own Instagrams, but then we also have our Keep It Saussie. So that's like our couples account. And then mine is conscious.altruism. And Aussie's not on social media very often. It's Aussie_has_FOMO.
Oh, Aussie has FOMO. That's right.
Nice.
And I have TikTok, that's Saucy Tarot. And I think that's where you find us.
Awesome.
It's just-
Incredible. Thank you both so much for hanging out. This has been a blast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 yeah.
We love hearing from all of you. We love continuing to build this community, and we just want to shout out some of our favorite things every episode. So first, we want to shout out Man of Steel on Instagram, who wanted us to know that they thought our episode on Saved was a solid episode, and I agree. We had so much fun talking about that movie.
It was solid.
It was
so solid. Also, I want to shout out one of our patrons. I feel like we shout out Maureen a lot, but Maureen also gives us some great feedback. Like, Maureen's always commenting on our shit, and I appreciate you, Maureen. So, talking to you. Commenting on our latest episode, which was on forbidden love, and was saying, you know, give us happy endings. We're here for that. But also part of it that I wanted to talk about was saying that one of the worst forbidden love stories that has ever been told is the story from Lost and Delirious. Leigh, have you seen Lost and Delirious?
I have not. I'm such a bad gay. I haven't. I know.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. She is so right. She's so right. Like, it literally, like, it is trauma. It is trauma porn.
And
it is
that's the
painful.
problem. That's all I know about it. And so I just have not ever decided to, like, sit down and subject myself to it.
Yeah, it's
but I also
everything
feel
we
like a bad
hate.
gay because I haven't watched
No,
it.
but also it could be a good Patreon episode, but, like, because it has some meat in it, but it's like Piper Perabo in love with another girl who then ends up, quote unquote, being straight, sleeps with a man, is like, no, I never loved you. It was just sex. And then, like, spoiler alert, not spoiler alert,
I
but,
know
like,
the gist of it.
it's rough.
We should let's just put it as a Patreon. We'll just do it next. I'll suffer. We'll all suffer
it is
together.
rough. So I completely agree with you, Maureen. And she's like, thank God Piper Perabo redeemed herself with Imagine Me and You. Because you are just like
Thank
this
God.
poor little baby gay. I mean, Piper Perabo does a great job in it, but it's so depressing.
As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Sophia Phillips,
and Armani Gucci,
and our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
and Andrea Doucette. Thank you all so much. We could not keep making this podcast without your support and the support of all of our patrons.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Lez Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at lezhangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or you can check out our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
We're also posting videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/lezhangoutpod to catch them.
Lez Hang Out is an independently produced show. It's hosted by us. Our audio production is done by Ellie. Our production assistant is Krista Mearson. And various other shenanigans are done by me.
If you want to support the podcast, the easiest way is to rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We love hearing what you have to say.
If you want to support our Patreon, you get access to our Discord chat, you get access to ad-free episodes, all sorts of good stuff, and you help keep the podcast alive. You can do that at bit.ly/lezpatreon.
If you want to get some Lez Hang Out merch, you can get that at bit.ly/lezshop. It's actually the perfect time to get it because Pride Month is coming up, but you want to order early to get all of your gay shit delivered to you. So it's a really prime time to get your gay pride shit at bit.ly/lezshop.
And remember, we also have a queer production company making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings that you can find everywhere at Dollar Bean Prod.
Or at our website, dollarbeanproductions.com.
You can check out all of the episodes of our first show, The Flame, on any podcasting app, and you can now listen to all of the episodes of at least one of the paths through Journey to the Heart anywhere you listen to podcasts.
And if you want to help supporting us and making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Leigh. And
let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's incredible Only One story. We talk to real people dealing with issues like infertility, the death of a loved one, human trafficking, and women who, fake it. Oh, and we want to be fair, so we talk to celebrities too. Emmy winners like actor John Cryer, supermodels like Amber Valletta, and rock stars like Ryan Dusick. Everyone is invited to share their Only One story with our listeners. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee you that Only One in the Room has a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone. Download Only One in the Room on Apple or Spotify today.